Hey guys, welcome back to the Next Rank YouTube channel. I'm Johnny Boy, joined by apparently Jack. Decided I would be here for this video, but thank you, Jack, for doing the last one solo. Today we're going to
No
do
worries.
something a little bit different. I saw a Reddit thread on the Rocket League subreddit, not the Rocket League esports subreddit, the Rocket League subreddit, and the thread is titled 2v2. You get caught in the offensive corner. Your teammate is last man back. Do you choose A or B or an unspecified C path back? So as you can see by this wonderful diagram that's been drawn
Yeah.
up for us, illustrates what the question is really asking us here. Pretty much, where should we go? How should we get back? To help our teammate defend. This actually spawned a lot of interesting conversation in the comments. And I thought we should definitely make a video about this on this channel because rotation is one of the most often talked about things and most often complained about things in the Rocket League scene. Jack, you probably get a million questions about this in your Twitch chat,
Yes.
YouTube comments. Just generally, what sort of things do you see about back post, near post, rotation, my teammates not rotating?
Yeah, I think the main theme of the questions I get is that people aren't happy when their teammate kind of ball chases. That's what they say, ball chases. They're going back, they're rotating back, and they just hit the ball, or they try and hit the ball, and they're challenging at the same time, and then they hit the ball away from them, and they're not happy. They want their teammates to go all the way to the back post every single time, and have a clean rotation is what I hear a lot. So I think that's probably the main theme I get, which look is correct in some cases. A lot of cases correct, but I mean that's why we're here to talk about it, right? There's a lot of different scenarios, and there's not just kind of one play you should be doing, one rotation path you should be doing every time. Like a lot of people think there is when they kind of ask those questions, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Let's break it down further. So, first of all, let's read the meat of the thread here. So, the user, the Piano Man 456, forgot to read his name. He's made the thread here. Shout out the Piano Man
Shout him.
456. He goes on to say that path A, the first option to rotate far post, as you can see on the diagram, trusting your teammate. I feel like it's quite the way it's presented. Piano Man is a little bit like you're leading us into the intended answer here. I'm not gonna lie, but it says rotate to far post, trusting your teammate to challenge and positioning for a potential turn. Or B, rotate near post behind the ball and opponents, potential to block your teammate / cause him to hesitate. I mean,
Yeah.
when you put it like that, it feels like there's only one option really, but we'll discuss many options in this video. There are very good suggestions in the comments as well.
Absolutely.
And they're all quite situational. So we'll get into that in more detail in a second. But Piano Man does go on to say he would obviously choose A. He's been trying to articulate his frustration of this type of near post erroneous rotation. His opinions are not so subtly stated in his definitions of A and B, as we've noticed. But he asks, is there any case where you'd choose B? My teammates in Champ do this constantly, and I swear it's a bad call every time.
Right.
Is this an accurate assessment or assertion? Well, the summary today is that we're here to tell you no, you should not always go A, and yes, there are many times where you'd want to go B actually. But you're not, Piano Man. You're not in the minority here. The comments actually agree with Piano Man. I'll read out a couple of those before we actually, as we go through the comments, we can talk about them specifically because people are giving their responses. The top comment in the thread from Fine Lingenberry 613. He says, I would take route A back and try to demo opponent number 2. So Jack, what do you think about that suggestion? Take route A, so the back post rotation through midfield, trying to demo the opponent who doesn't have the ball.
Okay, so we've gone in game, and I've got an even better drawing, in my opinion. This is a great art piece, if I do say so myself. This is a similar situation as the one in the Reddit post. I think we have flipped the colors, but it's not the end of the world. You guys can see this guy is in offense, out of the play. We've got our teammate in defense, and we've got the attackers starting to do a counter attack down the center of the pitch. Okay. Right, so what do we do? This guy commented to take this path around, right, Johnny? That was path A, to go here and maybe bump this player
try to
around
demo, he did
kind
say.
of, hopefully, probably around this mark, maybe even sooner. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. Now, in my opinion, we should never do that. At least in that path. So there's no reason to have to go around this way. Because it basically means that you're not getting there as quickly as you could be, and you're not giving yourself actually the most chances possible to change your plan if you need to, which we'll get on to later. Johnny's already warned me to not speak about all the other things you should or could do, depending on the different situations. There's an entire like kind of flowchart, I guess. We'll get onto that in a bit. But the reason you don't want to take this path is because this is simply quicker, and you're actually going to be more in the way. Okay, you're covering more options. You're putting yourself in a better position. The player that is receiving the pass is most likely going to move towards the player that is passing the ball off to them. Okay, because that's just the best line to attack and to receive passes from. So they're moving in this direction. If we rotate like this, we're actually rotating out of their way, which can make the demo quite hard to get because they actually might just escape us and get the shot right before we demo them. If we take a different path and go more in this direction to demo them, you can see we're moving into the space that they're moving into rather than we're moving out of the space that they're moving into. Okay, we're not moving away from them, we're moving into the most dangerous path. And that's all you're trying to do in this situation. Now, obviously, all of this is contingent on if we can get back quick enough. You know, if these guys are too fast for us, let's say we have 0 boost, they have 60 each, and they're moving too quick. Again, it's the same thing. We're just going to be rotating in the exact same way because we're trying to get back as fast as possible. We don't need to take any wide paths. You know, there's nothing to actually cover over that. So we don't do it. We go through them.
Okay, so it looks like we've got quite a popular opinion here. But Dougie1330, he's kind of, he's more along the lines you're talking about there, Jack. Well, literally the line. He says A, which is the rotation, but he says aim straight for the back post and get there as soon as possible. So not the big curved line. He wants straight.
He wants the straight one.
Yeah. So he's kind of saying A in terms of the idea of A, demo the guy over there, but with the line you suggested. So I found your alt account on Reddit, actually, Jack. I think I know who you are now. But he also goes on to say, although if you notice halfway through your teammate has bounced both enemies, I might rotate back to a scoring position at 50. So I guess
has challenged and got the ball forward.
So if he's basically saying if you're rotating back and your teammate has won the challenge, then you would turn.
Right.
Which, I mean, yeah, I would hope so. I'd hope so that if your teammate wins the challenge, you wouldn't keep rotating back post because you've committed to it. I swear, like this whole back post rotation thing is it's like a pilgrimage for some people. They're once they start doing it, they just keep going. They're like, I've got to go back post, man. And obviously, if the situation changes, you got to change your strategy as well. But Dougie's on to some good strategy there, going straight back. You don't need to make the massive curve. Couple more comments about this though. Similar line. I mean, it seems to be the popular opinion. Acceptable topic 437 says by following B, you make your teammate think you're a huge ball chaser. So if you go straight back towards the player with the ball, your teammate thinks you're a ball chaser when in fact you really are. And then he says the right thing to do is to demo A if possible. So he wants you to demo the other player. Everybody wants to demo the guy who doesn't have the ball. It seems to be a very, very common theme. And then there's another one here that actually says, I think it's a joke, B, because where ball is, I go. Thank you, Chrysler, for that one. Hold on, there. I swear they're okay. Yeah, there's another one here that I wanted to read before we get Jack's take on all of this. A bit of a longer one. Austin 1207 says for the most part you're always going to want to choose A. So everybody's saying A, the wide one. When you take this path, it's a good idea to look for a demo to eliminate the passing plays or fallout from car 2. So again, we're demoing the same guy. Everybody says demo this guy. What I will say though is giving people time and space is a huge mistake that I see in game a lot. And if I have the opportunity, I'll take path B to try and dispossess the opponents, get the ball back to my teammate. So he's saying, okay, we would do this if he could, but you almost always want to choose A because I guess he's saying if you're in this position, you can't.
Right.
Maybe.
So he maybe that's just a misunderstanding on when you do this, when you can do this, and that's a lot of it. That's where we start, talking about everything. So that's interesting.
Okay, then. So Jack, everybody wants to go A. Well, most people want to go A, rotate, towards the mid, demo the other guy, the guy who doesn't have the ball.
Right.
But there was, there does seem to be a little bit of options here, going straight back through mid, going to B
Yep.
maybe to put some pressure on. But
Mhm.
A does seem to be the vast majority. So what do you think about that? Why do you think that is? Is this
Yeah.
should it be the vast majority based on the information that we know?
Right. So why is it the case? I guess because let's say we switch the roles and we're now the player at the back. If we're facing forward, and our teammate cuts the ball off and they get in our way, that can be frustrating. So then we automatically have a mentality for the rest of our time playing the game, or at least a long time of like, we can't do that. We can't be annoying to our teammate and get in their way. Now, high level players, once you get to a higher rank, because Johnny, actually, really quickly, there was a person in the comments that said at GC2, was it that it's almost always B? Is that right?
Ungovernable. He said in GC2 plus it's almost always B all the time.
Yeah.
And he broke it. He went into a lot of detail as to why. But Jack can, why is that? Because I agree. At higher rank, even I would say in my games, I would almost always go B as well, or at least initially. That would be my commitment. But yeah, why is that, and why is it against the popular opinion?
Yeah. So it depends on a few factors. The main thing is that these two players, so us in this situation, which is we were out the play and our teammate at the back, these two have to be coordinated, okay? And it's up to each other, mainly on this guy, us, to read what this guy is about to do, okay? So we can get an idea of that depending on a few things. So their kind of car speed and the way they're pointing their car, okay? So if they're pointing their car forward like this, it obviously means they're going to try to challenge. In this case, we don't really want to get in their way like that, okay? Because this is where things like 15 the ball packed, away from them, bumping each other, things like that can happen. Okay, so that's very basic. If they're facing like this, we don't get in their way, we don't challenge unless, we can drive like this and see if they challenge, but mainly we're going to be focused about this guy, okay? Because this player, our teammate, is focused on the ball, okay? So the most dangerous thing we need to cover is the person off the ball, okay? So that's one line of thinking like that. Now, let me clear all this. Let's say that our teammate is facing away. Okay, let's say he's about to grab this boost. I'm not going to draw an arrow because there's not enough space. He's about to grab this boost. He's about to turn back to net and shadow, the opponents. Now we need to cut the ball off, okay? Because our teammate in their head, they should be at least. If they're not, they're wrong. As simple as that. Because at high level, this is what they're saying in their head. You have to cut this ball off. That is the most dangerous option that currently I'm not covering. You need to play the ball, okay? How do you do this? That depends, okay? So there's a lot of things that you need to look at. Is this guy that's on the ball towards the side of the ball like this, in this position, which means they opens up this passing lane across to their teammate over here, or is he ball carrying, okay? If he's ball carrying and the ball's on top of his car, it means that this pass is a little harder to get, okay? Because he's more going at the net rather than creating an angle for himself. Because of that, we can just play the ball. If he's more towards the side, we need to be very careful about how we play the ball because the passing option is actually the most dangerous, okay? So we need to kind of cover both at the same time and pick our spot that we challenge in. The most important thing is that we're challenging the ball and we're forcing it. We're forcing what the player on the ball, we're forcing their second option, okay? If they want to flick, we're covering the flick. We're trying to force it to the corner. We're making them go low or we're making them flick early. We're basically trying to avoid them getting to a spot where they wanted to flick in the first place, which is probably closer to the net, okay? So we want to challenge sooner. Make sure our teammate is ready when we're about to challenge, and then we go, okay? But the most important thing to remember out of the entire kind of thing I just talked about is if our teammate is facing forward, it's very rare that we're going to play the ball. We might drive in a similar line, through these guys to make sure we're covering everything if we need to. For example, if our teammate fake challenges, turns away like this, then we can turn towards the ball like that, okay? But if he doesn't, we're just going to stay here, let him challenge, see the outcome and play it from there. But if he turns away, he's not facing towards the ball and he turns like this instead towards the back post, or sorry, towards the near post, then we turn like that and then challenge for him. That is a very, very basic rule. that will serve you well, in all these situations. But the most important thing to remember, I'd say, that I've already explained, is that because of this line of thinking, we can now see that doing that does it makes it a lot more difficult, for everyone involved. Sometimes it's fine, but if you can, and this depends on your speed and the opponent's speed, if you can catch up to them to a point where you can get in the middle of them before they make their play, you do that. If they're moving too quickly and you're out of the play, Johnny, there's very few things you can do. You can maybe take a little bit more time to rotate like that sometimes. That could be fine because you just want to make sure you're in a position, which is usually this position, when a 50 happens or when a bounce off the wall happens, because this position is always the most dangerous, right? It's like you need to cover the midfield for any shots or any loose balls that could happen, right? And that's the only kind of thing you have to think about. If these guys are moving too quickly, we have a little bit more time. Maybe that's acceptable. It's arguable, though.
All right, so this is all very good. We've got a bunch of situations where we can rotate ball side, which is a cardinal sin in the minds of a lot of the Rocket League community. They see this and they think, yep, you've got no idea what you're doing. This is always bad. But actually, as you get to higher level and as you watch higher level players play, you'll see them almost always do this because it's not something that their teammate will get triggered by. It's actually something that their teammate will want to see. Like if you're the guy in defense, maybe you're just this. I don't know, respawning from a demo or something. Yeah. This shouldn't. First of all, it shouldn't really happen. This massive disconnect between the teammates is very bad. It's what causes this awkward situation. But if it does happen, if I was that player in defense, I would definitely want my teammate who's rotating back to challenge or to put pressure on the ball, because I don't want to have to challenge in a 1v2. Jump in on that, Jack, because I know you got a lot to say on this one.
Pros, right? If pros, like, this is my whole point. The lower level players, I completely get it, because I probably thought like this in some situations throughout playing and ranking up. Everyone does. You're annoyed that this guy rotates like this, you're challenging at the same time. It's a mess, right? Mm-hmm. And that's completely fine. But you have to understand that the highest level 2v2 players in the world, I can name a ton. You basically, if you're in this position, if you're this guy, you basically make this guy your minion. Okay, that's what this is called. This guy is now your minion. You minion this guy, and then you make him challenge. You make him press X, right? You make him press X for you whenever he can. You make him jump, because what that does, it just forces the ball to you, okay? And that's what every high level 2s player like this guy at the back here wants. It wants this guy, his teammate, to be a minion, force the ball to him, and give him that free ball, 300 boost, and go from there. I know what you're saying. You're saying that, oh, well, my teammate won't know how to do that, won't know how to challenge. It's really basic. They just have to cover the most dangerous option, which they will do a lot of the time. I think a lot of players have the mentality that this is the wrong kind of thing to take, because they're in the mentality of their teammate can never do anything right in solo queue, And when you have that mentality, you're going to always think whatever they do is wrong, okay? So you're never actually going to play the best situation. You're never going to play the best kind of, the best hand you have, because you don't actually trust your teammate enough to think they're doing anything right, So I guess give them that respect. Give them the respect that... Actually, give the respect to the situation. The situation is not hard to cover. Actually, anything they do, whether they're playing the ball, getting in the way, they don't even have to touch the ball. Half the time, it's better if they don't. Just getting in the way, flipping towards the opponent. That forces them to do something. Play from that. Realize that they can't. When your teammate flips towards your opponent, it's cutting something off. It's cutting their time off. It's cutting their direction off. It's making them do something that they didn't want to do already. Things like that. Now it's up to you to basically decide at the back here, then what is the most dangerous thing I have to cover, because my teammate, he's actually helping me out here.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing to remember, especially if you are someone who's annoyed by ball side rotation. If you're annoyed by your teammate constantly cutting in front of you, you've got to try and understand why they're doing it. Sometimes they are just ball chasing. Sometimes your teammate is just being, a selfish player. And if that's the case, then you've got to play around them even more. But if your teammate is trying to help you, which they probably are, if I'm out of the game like this, my initial thought is I've messed up. I've put my
Yeah.
teammate in an awful position here. It's my job to help fix that. I've got to get pressure on the ball, force the opponent, like Jack said.
Mhm.
You don't want to leave your teammate alone. And a lot of the suggestions are kind of semi-fixing that by saying let's demo the other guy because now our teammate's in a 1v1 instead of
Yeah.
a 1v2. That's better. And in some cases, that
It's better
would
than doing
be
nothing.
a good idea if the ball carrier's gone, if he's just ball
Yeah.
carrying supersonic speed and there's no way to catch him, the other guy's
Right.
kind of just like lingering. Maybe you flip once to go back towards your net, you see that the ball carrier's long gone and the other guy's kind of sitting there. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to take a quick swerve, demo him, and then continue coming back to try and
And
help.
hope,
But
hope
yeah,
that this guy can save a 1v1. Yeah, sometimes that is
yeah.
fine. If you can't play the ball, you can't. You're just not back quick enough, are you?
But yeah, it all starts with just trying to get back quickly. Like we're just going straight back towards the goal, straight back down the line, like into the irrelevant position quickly, not back post, not out. We're not trying to get out of the way, like Jack said earlier.
No.
We're trying to get in the way. We're trying to annoy the other team. Because think about how many times in Rocket League you've been ball carrying, you've been dribbling, and then somebody demos you from behind, and you're like, that's so annoying. Because I was just getting ready to flick the ball. I was just getting ready to dribble and practice my my offense, and then somebody demos you from behind and there's nothing you can do. You couldn't even see it coming. Like
Yeah.
which is a harder challenge to defend against? You challenging from behind, demoing the guy on the ball, or your teammate who the opponent can probably see. Like it's
Right.
way harder for your teammate who's in defense to surprise challenge the ball carrier. Much easier for you
Yes.
to do. So you're actually making it not only easier on your teammate by doing that in many cases, making it harder on your opponents in almost all cases if you can catch up and do this. And your teammates' POV, if they challenge that and you didn't expect them to challenge, or you didn't think you thought that they would see you going for a ball side rotation and therefore they would turn, and they didn't. That happens as well. Sometimes you just don't read your teammate. Maybe you think that they're
Yeah.
going to fake a challenge because they see you coming, and then boom, you're perfectly synergizing. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't read your ball side rotation. They don't read your tackle. You've double committed. You're both out of the game feeling like idiots. But that I would put that down to a mistake where you've misread each other. It's not it's not ball side rotation being bad. It's not
Yeah.
the defender challenging being bad inherently. There's no global solution here. Every situation is unique and every player is unique. You just have to learn how to play around the teammate that you've got, and they're probably better than you think, like Jack mentioned.
So there you have it, guys. Those are kind of all the different situations that could come out that one image of that Reddit post, I guess. And we're not saying that rotating back post is bad. We're just trying to, I guess, change the narrative of the standard is rotate back post, and then everything else is secondary. We kind of want to make it known that, at least in our opinion, and from what we can see in high level Rocket League, is that nothing is standard. There are just better plays to make, or better rotations to make in each different situation. That's all it is. We're trying to make sure people's minds are maybe opened a little bit more to different things and different types of rotation, and why each one is better than others in certain situations. And the goal is to always put yourself in a position where you have the most options available for yourself that you can kind of adapt to yourself into. That's why we started speaking about when you rotate through the middle of them, you're now in a place to rotate to the back post after, or cut them off and rotate ball side. So that's what the kind of things we're speaking about, Johnny, making sure everyone has a deeper knowledge of those kind of things, and not just a set rotation of always going to the back post.
Yeah, and if you are interested in getting that deeper knowledge, we've got several videos in the Next Rank course that will help you with understanding this topic more fully. We've just gone over it very, very briefly. We're just surface level in this video because it's a YouTube video. But yeah, if you bought the Next Rank course, you want to check out relevant videos for the defensive team in that position. Be sure to check out quarter pitch spacing so that we don't end up in the opposite side of the pitch in the first place. Check out our rotating ball side video, because we do think that is a very important skill to know, and it's also a very important skill to understand, so when your teammate does it, you don't get tilted. We also are about to release a video about back post rotation. We're about to add that to the course. If you've already bought the course, it's just going to appear in your course video list.
Yeah.
We've also got a video on demos while rotating back specifically because it kind of touches on that position we looked at there, but also others as well. And so does tackling from behind. We've got a video on that. Be sure to check out. So we've got loads of videos to go way more in depth on this topic of rotating that are all very specific to what we're discussing today. And if you want to get better at the attacking team POV, we've got a video on drive ahead demos. We've got a video explaining that kind of lateral passing position that you saw the off the ball player using in that diagram. You should definitely check out our infield pass video, and we've got dozens of dribbling and shooting videos as well that will all apply to that ball carrier. So all in all, check out the course if you haven't already. Join the Discord. Lots of people in there, both course users and just non-course users alike, all helping each other improve, which is awesome to see. And we're also going to be in there occasionally answering some questions as well. But yeah, Jack, I think that's everything. I don't think I've forgotten anything, have I?
That is everything. And actually, one last thing. Let us know in the comments if you guys enjoyed this style of video.
That's the one. There
are other kind of posts on Reddit that are similar. Situations, and leave your own situations. Type them out, and we'll make a lovely image and draw the situations that could happen from it and the things we should be thinking about. If you guys like this kind of analysis content, a little bit of deeper level, let us know in the comments. Drop a like, drop a sub to the channel, check out all the other videos we have, and we'll see you guys later. Take care.